And I think it's terribly important to remember that while people will want to lay flowers down, you know, she's not dying. It is not the death sentence that a cancer diagnosis used to be, and she will get better. I'm sure she will get better and be strong and go on. So we mustn't sort of be too dismal about it. And I'm sure lots of people watching at the moment have beaten cancer. We'd love to hear from you, actually.
It's just the shock of it all.
I think we're all in collective shock, aren't we?
Let's talk to Royal broadcaster Rafe Haydel-Mankoo and showbiz reporter Stephanie Tetchy for their take on everything that's going on this morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Rafe, the whole point of this is the shock factor. We're watching it last night when she uttered the C word. I couldn't believe it. That's just not what I was expecting at all.
No, and it's because, of course, we've always thought of the Princess of Wales as being in rude health. I mean, she was always such a sporty figure. She never had any health complications in her life apart from having acute morning sickness when she had her pregnancies. So we were shocked about the abdominal surgery, but then we were reassured at the outset that it wasn't cancerous. And, of course, it was only with post-operative testing as with the King, actually, in both cases, that cancer was detected. It just goes to show how important it is, actually, to get screened for these sorts of things. But as you were saying, though, 1 in 2 people these days does, unfortunately, end up having cancer of some form, and not a viewer amongst us, I imagine, doesn't know somebody who has been affected by cancer. 1,000 people a day are diagnosed with cancer, and there are 3 million people in Britain today living with cancer. But as you say, it's not the death sentence it once was. And, of course, even chemotherapy. I mean, chemotherapy is an umbrella term referring to any drug treatment that will actually kill cancer cells, and it can be the old-fashioned way of having an intravenous infusion, but it can also be simply taking tablets at home. And we don't quite yet know what degree we don't know what stage of cancer this is, we don't know what type of cancer it is, we don't know what treatment she's undergoing, so we can't speculate on all of that. But because she said that she feels well, she's told her children in such positive terms, I think there's every reason to be hopeful and optimistic.
You must have been shocked when you heard it too, Steph.
Yeah, there's always that feeling when you're working at a paper on days like that. It's just that tension that's in the air, and it's been like that over the past few weeks in the newspaper because there's been so much going on for the royals, especially to do with Kate. And so yesterday, when it did come out, for me, I kind of just put my focus on her as a mother of 3 children, and realising it wasn't about the edited picture, it wasn't about the conspiracy theories, it was about her need for privacy and finally to put to bed everything that's been going on. And as we've been talking, like, lots of families across the country can relate to having a member of family who's been diagnosed with cancer, and each family are facing it in their own way. And I think this is what they now need. They need that peace and that quiet, and hopefully she is on that road to recovery.
What did you make of the video itself, Steph? Because Andrew's been in touch. Morning, Andrew. Says, as a person fighting cancer myself, her words at the end of the broadcast meant so much to me.
Yeah.
When she said, you know, you're not alone. It's difficult to feel positive at times, but today I've been given a huge boost of positivity from the Princess, and it truly helps to face the future.
And this is where I have so much admiration for both Kate and King Charles, because they've both spoken about their battles and they've been able to relate to other people who are going through cancer. And I think Kate has this continuous charm where she just remains dignified, you know. She didn't make no mention of all of the scrutiny that's been going on. She just focused on actually the battle in hand and what so many people are facing. So, to be honest, I thought the video was well done.
It was extremely well done. The King made a big point a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, that the messages he's had really mean something for him. And it must do.
And that's what Kate mentioned. It's about her spirit, how she wants to feel mentally, physically and within herself. And that's what you need when you're going through such a battle like this. You need to be gripping onto everything that's positive. I
have to say, watching that last night, Rafe, just leaves you in no surprise at all that she is the most popular royal, because it is that dignity actually. And that she's got a real communication skill as well.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I think she spoke magnificently. It was courageous about her own condition, but it was caring also about other people. And this was a completely unique and unprecedented announcement, hopefully one that will actually kill off all the speculation that we've had over the past few weeks and months. And, you know, and it just goes to show how far the monarchy has come. You know, when King George VI died from lung cancer, the nation didn't even know he had cancer. It was only afterwards that people found out about this. Now, of course, people have been speculating, was this video
AI
prompted by... No, was it prompted by the social media outbreak? I think this announcement was going to come at this stage, but I think the form it took, perhaps, was influenced by social media. But we've always known that Her Royal Highness was supposed to come back into public life after Easter, by which they meant after the Easter holidays, not after the Easter weekend, around the 17th of April. So this wasn't unexpected. But the decision to have this as to camera as a speech in the garden with flowers behind, where people could say, oh, well, actually, this was taken just now because the daffodils are in bloom. I think that was all carefully orchestrated to avoid that sort of speculation, because we've never seen a member of the royal family speaking like this. Normally, it will be by press release.
Yes. I mean, the other thing that struck me, and I think a lot of people, is that she did look very pale and she looked vulnerable.
She did.
And a lot of people have been emailing into GB News saying, I just want to hug her.
Yeah.
Because she does look vulnerable, and that's not something we're used to with Catherine.
I think that's why she's been behind closed doors, because there's going to be this big discussion about how she's looking and her just being picked apart. And I think what's really scary is how this world has got to this heightened point of conspiracy theories and just having no respect for people's health and their privacy. And I think that's the longer-term thing that people now need to be looking at, and different sectors of the media and their relationship with the royals, and how we kind of put these news stories out there, and where is the limit?
Yeah, and interesting on this as well. I don't know. It's in a way, it's stupid. It's superficial. Jeans in a jumper.
Yeah.
You know, it's just very real, Rafe.
Well, that's I think what Kate brings to the royal family is we can all relate to her. She grounds the monarchy, and she brings an element of normality to the institution. That's why I think she's a global superstar. That's why she's the most popular person in the royal family. You know, in terms of the apparatus of state, the king is the most important for government, for politics, and the constitution. But that's the state. In terms of the nation, I would say the Princess of Wales is the greatest asset for the monarchy and our greatest sort of treasure. That's why you're seeing this great outpouring, because people really do love her.
But I think while we're all shocked and collectively sort of feeling for her, I do think it's terribly important to remember she will beat this.
Oh, yes.
She will beat it. Lots and lots and lots of people do. And I just think we need to be upbeat and not too downbeat about it.
Well, I think that's where the conversation about cancer is now changing, because it's no longer the death sentence it used to be, and there's so much treatment available, and luckily for her, she's been blessed to have found it at hopefully an early stage.
Yeah, OK. Steph, Rafe, thanks very much indeed. Much more coming up after the weather.